listening to the Voices of the Voiceless podcast with your hosts, Brad Shepard and Jonathan Fisher.
I'm searching for love, Brad's searching for optimism, and we're both searching for good wrestling.
Yeah, that's whatever.
I mean, I don't know what it is. None of what I say matters.
You can never avoid the voices of the voiceless.
Take on freedom, take on.
No chance, that's what you got.
And welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the music as I am trying to stay awake. I'm John. Brad, he's here, and we're on a quest to find something new, and boy, have we found it. And it's not nearly as atrocious as Ryback's new ring gear. No, it's Lucha Mother effing Underground.
You damn right.
Oh, were you trying to go for the Rock? You all right?
I'm just too low energy, but you know, at least I've got more energy than Jeb Bush, which isn't hard. But
Oh well, well, it's not just him. It's Rick Santorum. It's the other guy that doesn't matter. They're done trying to become the president. It'd be like Vince McMahon. Okay, horrible example. It'd be like Dixie Carter just quitting the wrestling business because she just can't do it anymore. You know.
well, she hasn't been able to do that for years.
I wonder if Dixie could take a page out of Santorum's playbook and just quit. It'd be
That
right
would
for
probably
everyone.
help. Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a problem. Anyway, yeah, welcome back to Voices of the... It's our 25th episode, and I just got back from North Carolina just about an hour and a half ago, and I had to sit down and watch Lucha Underground. And before we get to Lucha Underground, Brad has your tweet of the week, which I'm sure is just as wonderful as always.
Maestro,
Yeah?
hit the music. Okay. Our What the Fuck Tweet of the Week is brought to you by Matt Hardy at Matt Hardy Brand.
Oh, I know what this is.
Ooh. It all began when a fan asked Matt Hardy on Twitter if him and Jeff were coming back to WWE to take care of the New Day. Matt responded with the following, quote, "Are they the guys that wear strap-ons on their head? That's not iconic," unquote. This led to a back and forth Twitter with Big E of New Day in WWE TNA head-to-head on social media. And Big E actually had a mature adult response. Somebody had to, I guess. And he responded by saying, "To each his own. Twitter wrestling beef between people who work for different companies is childish. Be well." And it was at this point that Matt came off looking pretty bad and backtracked as quickly as your average politician.
Well, Rick Santorum, who
Yeah.
just quit. This is my reaction to it. Just wait. Just wait. Dramatic effect. That's what I do. I have this to say, and while Matt Hardy can say what he wants, it's a free country, of course, and you just can't say anything in an airport. I found that out today. But beside the point, what Matt Hardy did was display his opinion, which you're allowed to do. However, I don't know why he had to take a shot at them because, A, they're much more over than he is at the current moment. B, he sold out to go to TNA because he had nothing else better to do. Truthfully, he could have went to Lucha or Ring of Honor or New Japan, or is Matt Hardy still a good competitor? But you went to TNA, and it's just the worst. It's the absolute worst. It's like the Delta of airlines. You're going to see a lot of airline jokes tonight. TNA is just the What? Okay, great metaphor, or it's a simile, I guess. I'm going to use the word like. TNA is like the smoker's box at an airport. Okay, you have all these people trying to get into one place because they're desperate and they're all crammed for space and they're elbowing, and people get to point and laugh at them in a glass box. That's what TNA is.
The problem here was he backtracked and he apologized and said he's just a sports entertainer like you, and so he killed his entire Twitter gimmick by breaking character, and it's a wrap now. Probably the best thing here, if you're gonna do the Twitter asshole gimmick, the big money Matt, is to not tweet and insult other wrestlers, especially from other companies.
Yeah.
Because then he put him in a position where he had to break kayfabe, and now it's just pretty much killed his entire Twitter gimmick. But
if honestly, he's just pretending to be Kevin Owens, who does it the best way possible. I mean, I would say so, wouldn't you? Owens at least doesn't mess with wrestlers who he works with. Like, what an idiot would do that? Matt Hardy, apparently.
Yeah, he went all in on the gimmick, and yeah.
What a dumb shit. Well, you know what? Good for him, because wow, who really gives a shit, right, about Matt Hardy at this point? Unless he's back in World Wrestling Entertainment, no one's going to care about him. It's kind of rude, but it's truth. It really is. Name the last person you cared about that was in TNA. For me, it was Austin Aries, and he got rid out of that shithole as fast as he could. You don't agree? Who was the last TNA wrestler that you actually enjoyed watching?
Yeah, I mean they as far as homegrown talent, probably maybe AJ Styles.
Okay, but he's been gone for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. Bobby Roode, he's in Beer Money now. And people get on WWE for doing old gimmicks. Beer Money's back. Don't throw that shit in our faces. There's no excuse for that because they have nothing else to do, so they bring back Beer Money. They offer James Storm, the Paul Heyman contract. And what I mean by that is a contract they can't afford to actually pay him. I guarantee you he doesn't see all of that money. Unless Dixie paid it up front, there's no way because they're probably going to be out of business in a year and a half. So James Storm did it because he wanted some extra money now. Maybe it was front-loaded. And they said, we'll bring back Beer Money so you can relive what made you popular again. And, wow, that's going to lead him nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's – yeah, go ahead.
It's like you pay him this money in pretty big amount of money compared to his coworkers, and then you bring him in and put him in a fucking tag team, like 5 or 6 or 20 other people, whatever. And it's like, what a waste.
It is. At least NXT was going to do something with him, I would hope.
Well, I mean, the truth is WWE gave him what they thought he was worth to be in NXT, and that's just the reality of the situation.
They're probably right. I don't know what they offered him, but I'm pretty sure they're damn close to what he's actually worth. I mean, what? Does James Storm really not have any money left? TNA isn't that big of a company, I know, but I'm sure he made 6 figures a lot of the years that he was there. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. On to a successful wrestling company, Lucha Underground. And you finally got me to watch it, and I got to say, I thought it was very good. You take the lead on this one. This is your area.
Yeah, so we just were hoping to give our thoughts. We're a week behind, essentially, as we record this. It's Wednesday night. We haven't seen episode 2, so we're going to be talking about episode 1, the debut episode of season 2, and then we'll just kind of go forward from there each week. But yeah, what a kickoff to the debut season. The Vampiro opening segment. I have to know what you thought about that. I thought it was amazing.
Well, you got to remember, this is my first time watching it, and I'm not used to this. Growing up, I've watched WWE only. Current products. I've watched a little bit of TNA, But wow, it was just so unique, so interesting. I was afraid to like fast forward because I thought there were commercials coming, but there were little segments mixed in. I didn't know what to expect. 1 minute after the other. Fuck. What's the secondary championship? The King of the Gods title.
Gift of the Gods Championship, which if you
Thank
are
you.
not familiar with Lucha Underground, it's kind of like a Money in the Bank almost.
Yeah, like holy shit, that match was very good to start off 20 minutes, and the title switched hands. Now I got to ask you, does that happen often?
No,
it
actually, it
potato
doesn't.
with that? Okay.
Not at all. In fact, last season, in season 1, Mil Muertes was champion at the end at Ultima Lucha, but Prince Puma was the champion for quite a while throughout the entire season. So he was the first champion, and then Mil Muertes won it at their WrestleMania Ultima Lucha. So the championships, they don't change hands a lot. The Gift of the Gods Championship the champion was actually crowned at Ultima Lucha. So there's been 2 title changes so far in the entire history of the company, if you don't include champions being crowned.
Wow.
Well, I take that back. There's been 3 if you include the trios championships. But anyway, it's not hot potato by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, that's good. Now, the Vampiro segment, yeah, it was pretty exceptional. But then they went into the car. Stryker picked him up, so he's normal again. Because I watched the season 1 recap, and Vampiro was a nutcase near the end with Pentagon Jr. and those two going at it. They had that horrific, brutal, hardcore match. So now, is Vampiro just himself again, or what's the deal with him?
Well, that's the great part about it is you see the guy is obviously not right in the fucking head, and then you see him back there in commentary like everything's okay, and it's like, okay, we'll wait and see. When does this guy snap? Does he reform with Pentagon Jr.? How does that play out? That's the great part about it is we get to see it play out. There's obviously something going on there.
Well, just like the end, how Pentagon Jr. came out after Prince Puma saved Eva Lise from Mil Muertes, and he gave a stare down to Vampiro. I'm like, are they going to set something up here? But it cut off. Now, just to refresh my memory, for me, where was Johnny Mundo? Why wasn't he on the show? Isn't he their big star?
He's one of their big stars, and he'll be on episode 2. He's got a new valet, and her name escapes me for some reason. I know who it is. But he's debuting this season on episode 2 tonight as we record this. Yeah, so the good thing about it, too, with Lucha Underground being an hour, is, the entire roster is not going to be on every show, just like NXT. And it keeps them fresh, and it keeps them from being overexposed.
I think that's good. And it reminded me of the NXT booking. It really did. It was focused on wrestling, but also it was the TV show aspect of it too. Now, Dario Cueto, we saw at the end, he was outside some building, got these 3 jabronis to come in there, paid him off, and then they fucking went inside and said, you're going to be fighting each other. So where the fuck's he at? Now, refresh everybody for what happened to Dario at the end of season 1, and now Katrina's in charge of Mil Muertes. Fucking, and there is a big guy who can wrestle, by the way. He wrestled a fucking woman in Eva Lise, and Eva Lise is a world-class talent. Fuck you, everyone else who passed up on her. Oh, wait, she was in NXT. That's right. But she's incredible. And Helico and Son of Havoc are amazing. Just, there was so much good things about it. The wrestling is stupendous.
Yeah, the wrestling is great. So Dario Cueto has always been the best authority figure in wrestling to me. He's not a heel like Triple H or the Authority. He's not a baby face like Dixie Carter. He does what's best for business to make him money and entertain the fans. If that means some shortcuts, that's what it means. If it means a bribe, that's what it means. If it means someone getting hurt or killed even, that's what it is. He was run off from the temple. The temple was thought to be gone, and now, as it appears in episode 1 of the new season, he has created his own temple for the time being in a fight club, and it looks like those 3 gentlemen were probably murdered.
See, I thought that those were indie wrestlers coming in as like his roster, but I mean, I personally don't know. So that you think that's going to lead to like a big clash? And now Katrina and Dario hate each other, right? Can I assume that correctly?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. She's the sole proprietor of Lucha Underground now, and part of Mil Muertes' clan that's running Lucha Underground. I absolutely think that Dario is going to come back in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and yeah, I think there's going to be an interesting power play there.
It's a very cool show. It is. I might watch the episode 2 after our podcast, but it's good. It makes you wanting more, and the fact that it's an hour, and I think that's a big testament to what NXT and Lucha Underground are doing. They're 1 hour, and the interest is never ending. With Raw, you have 3 hours to write. Look, I work in television. I haven't said that in a while. It feels good. I work in television. Do you know how long it is to write an hour and a half long show for news? Very hard. And that's news where you're just fucking given stuff. You're given stories to do. This, you're creating everything from your head. 3 fucking hours? Triple H admitted it was extremely difficult and stressful and frustrating and painful and just goddamn awful. So, I mean, that's a topic for another time, but I don't know who the hell, that might be a column idea. Ooh, light bulb. And I think whoever came up with the 3 hour idea was cool for like a week, and then it got stupid really fast. And I don't care how much it's making USA Network. I don't care how much. It's killing World Wrestling Entertainment. Slowly, but surely. And segue, hello. Raw Hit or Miss segment.
Well, before we get into Raw Hit or Miss,
yeah,
there's another gentleman in the wrestling business who has a very different opinion on Lucha Underground. And if you haven't heard by now, I'm talking about Jim Cornette. And he's got a podcast on the MLW Radio Network. And here's what he had to say about Lucha Underground after watching it for the first time.
Boy, you almost got fired on this one. This fucking Lucha Underground horse shit, that is the most heinous horse shit that I've ever seen in my life. And we joked about this last week off the air. I said, well, you'll probably send me this Lucha Underground stuff and I'll like the match, but I won't like the concept of the show because it has writers. I didn't like nothing. This is more embarrassing than anything I could have ever dreamed of. It's a TV show. It's a movie. It's not wrestling. It's not a sport. They make no pretense of even attempting to make this shit believable. The production is incredible. It looks like Scorsese, directed. The cinematography is wonderful. It looks like a John Ford Western, whatever the fuck. I can't say enough about the production. And it's another nail in the coffin of wrestling as to being taken seriously as any kind of sport or anything that's not completely predetermined. There's nobody on the face of the planet that could watch this shit and believe that there's any legitimacy to it whatsoever. It's not wrestling at all. It shouldn't even be called pro wrestling. It's a movie, and they're wrestling in the movie. That's all it fucking is. That backstage horse shit with the fucking, it obviously takes multiple takes to shoot something like that. Nobody's believing these people. It's a scripted performance of a movie or a TV show. That's all that fucking shit is. And then, good God, I watched Prince Puma and Phoenix. I know that Lucha is obviously acrobatic, but this was a goddamn choreographed fucking Chinese acrobat Olympic gymnastics tumbling routine is all that fucking was. And the ladder match, this 3-way ladder match, is more garbage horseshit hardcore wrestling where they're beating each other up with furniture that doesn't sell and doesn't work with you, and somebody's going to get killed, and just more of this ladder goofiness. And the recap of the year 2015 in review or whatever, where there's Vampiro hitting people with fluorescent light tubes and thumbtacks on the ground, more hardcore bullshit. I think the way to help Lucha Underground, and Morrison, I love John Morrison. He's an OVW guy. I like him as a person, and I thought he was a tremendous athlete. I'm sorry to see him have to be involved in that atmosphere. instead of being in real wrestling. I guess they spend a lot of money on this. I assume they pay well, whatever, because they spend a fucking fortune on all their props and gimmicks and everything. But the only way to save this goddamn horse shit is if they get everybody in that fucking temple that's associated with Lucha Underground and all the tapes of everything they've ever shot and put it all in the same place and then drop a nuclear fucking bomb on the whole goddamn thing. Would be the best way to treat Lucha fucking Underground if you are a fan of wrestling and you take any pride in professional wrestling as being in it as a performer, as a goddamn professional, or as a fan. The last thing you want to see, folks, is Lucha Underground, because it's just more writers, happy horse shit, making wrestlers phonies. And that's my opinion on that. Now you got me goddamn worked up, Brian. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're backfiring on me.
You know, unless they get more funding, there's a very good chance that the nuclear bomb theory might be the end of season 2 and the end of the promotion. So
well,
you make
good,
it what you wish
because
for.
what the fuck? Seriously, why can't somebody take that much money and actually put it? That's what I thought Sinclair Broadcasting was going to do when we were actually trying to make wrestling a sport treated seriously and competitively again. If somebody would put that much money in Ring of Honor, my God, for fuck's sake. It would be so good, but they don't, and they won't. And so these people have poured their money down a fucking well. There's no way that anybody would ever want to buy a ticket to see this shit. And there's no way they're going to get this money back. It's fucking ludicrous. But is that what wrestling has come to in this day and age? That's the what we have to fucking look at or just watch YouTube or old wrestling tapes?
Yeah, sadly, yes.
So there you go, Lucha Underground. I hope it stays underground, as far underground as possible. I'd like to kick some more dirt on top of
it. Jim Cornette, ladies and gentlemen.
What a dipshit. Do you agree or disagree with him?
You know, he says it's not a wrestling show, it's a TV show. He's exactly right. That's exactly what they portray. That's what they want to portray. Yes, it is. Yes, it is different, and yes, it is an evolved type of wrestling. I like it. I happen to disagree with him. You know, it's different from the era that he's used to, but it definitely does appeal to some people.
It appealed to me, and I thought it was amazing. Mark Madden said one really interesting thing, and he said, well, Jim Cornette hasn't been relevant in a long time, and that's true. He hasn't. When was the last time he was relevant? Jim Cornette's on a podcast. Great, so are we. But as far as his wrestling inclusion in the world is not very much. So what's he bitching about? Someone asked me on Twitter what I thought of Jim Cornette's thoughts on Lucha Underground. Then I said, sounds like a lot of jealousy. Because what are they doing? They just got picked up for a third season. What's Cornette doing? Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got the third season. It'll be on TV early 2017. So that's great news for everybody.
Of course. And honestly, what does he not want more wrestling out there, or does he want a stronghold with WWE and TNA?
He wants a very old school type of wrestling product, and
go to the WWE Network. It's $9.99. You can watch it all there.
Exactly.
Seriously, I'm not even being a dick. Go watch NWA tapes. Go watch Mid-South, Georgia Championship Wrestling. Go do that, because that's where you're going to get it, and nowhere else, because it doesn't exist anymore. That's not what wrestling is anymore. It's just not. So fucking get used to it. Hell, if Triple H and Gabe Sapolsky can team up for Evolve and WWE, I think Cornette can light it up a little bit. Lighten up. Wow, what an asshole. Just seriously. Wow. Just blowing us all with smoke, and he's just a shithead. I can't believe that. And yet he, Cornette has his followers. Cornette has his haters, more haters than so. Cornette used to be a mastermind in wrestling. But there's a reason why Gabe Sapolsky, who's Paul Heyman's protege, is still in the business, and Cornette isn't. Cornette and Vince Russo are perfect for each other. They're both useless.
Yeah, he's just got to learn. He's got to learn to evolve a little bit. I agree with some of the basic things he says. They can still be used today to a degree, but he just has to. Some of the stuff he has to evolve on, like everybody knows it's a work now.
Yeah.
In his time, more of the era he's talking about, it wasn't rubbed in your face. So it's a totally different time.
It is. I mean, Raw is the most least kayfabe show on the planet. Right? I mean, I think kayfabe's dead. He's absolutely dead.
And I'd like to see a little bit more kayfabe, sure, so that you're not rubbing in our face. But times have changed. Speaking of Raw, hit or miss. Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar squaring off.
Oh, that was a hit. I thought Dean went out looking like, a golden goose egg. I loved it. And it was the first time that I've ever seen him be treated as a top star. Because when you go face to face with Brock, you're a top star. And he did. This promo was great. It wasn't scripted. I could just tell. And that's what made it good. It was a good first segment. It wasn't too long. I think it was like 11 minutes. It was a promo. I would like for it to start out with a match. But if I had a choice of what I would like to see instead of a match, it'd be an Ambrose promo. And he did it along with Heyman. And I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, I thought this was a hit. I mean, this is the first time you could really say maybe where Ambrose looked like a star.
Yeah.
He came out and nose to nose with Brock. He knows and respects Brock, but he has no fear. And Brock's reaction is essentially like, this guy's got balls. And that's the gist of Brock's reaction. And yeah, it was very good. And plus it was something different. Yes, it was a promo, and I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that kicking off the show, but damn, it wasn't an authority promo. So that's a little bit different. I thought there was some real special intrigue when they were nose to nose. I thought the fans were really focused in on it. In a good way, you could hear a pin drop. I think it had some intrigue by the fans, and I think this match would be very intriguing. And I'd like to see this a lot more than a Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen. But we're gonna get to those a little bit later.
Yes, we are. Speaking of Roman Reigns, his cousins, the Usos and the Social Outcasts, hit or miss.
Well, I think the best part of this was that Lillian Garcia said that the Usos won a Grammy, and boy, did they ever put me to sleep. I just think what do the Usos do, Brad? They get up and they say, "Ooh," when you say "oos," we say, "Oh, oos, tribal theme, oos, tribal theme." No, oos. Oh, what? It's the same damn shtick. It's awful.
Oh, yeah. It's the bland WWE marketing machine, okay? There's no personality to these. What do we know about the Usos? What kind of a backstory do we have? You know what I mean? We know they're Samoan.
Yeah.
A tribal dance. They wear face paint, okay?
How
about you give them a backstory? How about you give them a little mic time to introduce them as a person to the audience so that the fans can relate and invest in them? I mean, this match, obviously, I thought was very boring.
It was, and I love this broadcast, too. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but when you have someone like the Usos, it's just like Ryback. They're just like Ryback. What does Ryback do? It's feeding time. Goes to the ring. He does one of two things. He either jobs or someone does a job to him. And that's it. I'm hungry. Feed me more. Squash match for 5 minutes, if that. And face turn. And then it's just so dumb. It's so dumb.
What do you think of his new ring gear?
Oh, jeez.
Goldberg 2.0.
Well, they're trying to make him Goldberg, aren't they? It was the truth all along. It just was. It's horrible.
I totally expect this to create more Goldberg chants. I mean, this was just
and it will. And it will. But the point we're trying to make is, I guarantee. Let's say the Usos couldn't wrestle anymore. I hope that isn't the case. But they wrestled somewhere else, and they were gone forever. Do you know how many people would miss them? 0. Nobody would miss
Yeah.
that.
So many of these guys on the WWE roster, virtually all of them are just so replaceable. There's just
They
no
are.
character investment.
And it's so sad because I think it's Jimmy. Jimmy Uso on Total Divas is hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah, he's great.
Him and Naomi are like the greatest, like, entertaining couple I've ever seen.
Well, they are. And then they've got like her heel, him face, and they don't even acknowledge like the reality of that they're a married couple on Raw. The whole thing is just so weird.
Yeah, and it's almost like a conveyor belt. You're going to get the same thing coming out all over again, one after the other, after the other, after the other. The Usos can work a good match, and they're good wrestlers, but they are just so irrelevant that I don't give a fuck. I just don't care.
You've got to have character development.
Is that mean of me, Brad? Am I being really critical?
No, you're being honest. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, it's like I said, they're all virtually replaceable. There's no character investment. And you look at Lucha Underground, to go back to that for a second, and it's like these guys have a damn story. Then you look at this, and it's like, okay, it's the Usos. We don't know anything about them. They're just in a tag team that comes out and does a war dance every goddamn week, and it's like, okay, and they wear face paint, and they say, when we say Us, y'all say oh, and it's like, okay, whoop-de-goddamn doodah. Tell us why we should like them.
Yeah. Not everyone can be Finn Balor and just get over without talking. That doesn't happen to nearly anybody. I use him as an example is because he didn't have a promo longer than 30 seconds in the first few months of his career here. He didn't need to. He has natural charisma. The Usos have no natural charisma. It's sad. It's unfortunate, but anyway.
All right, hit or miss. Brie Bella defeating Charlotte.
Give me a second.
Oh, God, and I know you're going to play that fucking Brie Bella music. I know it. Let's hope your phone breaks.
I didn't even get the best part.
And we're thankful for that. Oh, my God. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
It's like a crying baby on an airplane. Isn't it just the worst?
It is the worst. It's the fucking dirt worst.
All right, so I don't think we should, and Brad, not a lot of things on Raw are truly terrible. Even you can admit that. You know that most of it's watchable, and even some of it's very good, like the Ambrose Lesnar segment. It was very good, but I thought this was truly terrible. And it doesn't even deserve us talking. It doesn't deserve two people on a podcast talking about it because it was so stupid. It just proves why 50-50 booking reigns supreme. And there are two things. Thing number one is that I think Natalya should have done that and got the win over Charlotte if Brett didn't come down with prostate cancer. And by the way, Brett, prayers are with you, my friend. I wish you all the best. That was your cue to say the same thing, Brad. Or I didn't.
Well, Brett is definitely in my thoughts. He's one of my favorites of all times. They've actually put up Get Well Brett in his picture on the MSG marquee, which is something they just don't do for anybody. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of people supporting Bret Hart, myself, and yourself included, and we wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, so just to get that out of the way and to be noticed, I think Natalya should have done that instead. Or I don't know. There really aren't. Nikki would have been a good one, to be honest with you, but she's hurt right now. Why did Brie Bella, and for fuck's sake, Michael Cole said that win could put Brie in for a chance at the title?
Oh, it is.
Lord,
it is. That's happening at Fastlane.
Shut
and Charlotte's
up.
going to win. No, it is. It is. It hasn't been announced officially, but it is going to happen. Charlotte will win and go on to WrestleMania. But we for the time being, the whole Charlotte, Sasha, Becky stuff has been interrupted, so we can have Brie Bella and Charlotte at Fastlane.
That's not true.
No, it's actually true. It's not a joke.
No, it's not. No, it's a joke.
It's not a joke.
Why?
Well, maybe it is a joke, but it's true.
No, I don't. According to who? I'm not happy.
The Becky Lynch mark. He is angry, folks. Get out of his way. Now they're going to save the match for Mania, and they're just this is what they're going to do for now. Brie Bella, Brie mode. Okay, I think we've talked about that way too much.
Okay. So I'm not. Oh my God. I'm not mad. Yes, I am.
You're mad. You mad, bro.
I'm not mad that just by the what culture spelled PW Insider wrong. Wow, and they didn't hire me as a writer because I thought I couldn't spell. Okay, guys, real funny.
That website's a joke anyway. Let's be honest.
It is. It really is. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like any father tells his son who just went through his porn collection. And Brad, you'll know how that feels in a few years.
Yeah,
Dad?
don't remind me.
Dad, what's that? No, Mickey. Who's Mickey James? No, I just Sunny side up.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Honestly, if she went to a buffet, she'd be on the table because she looks truly like a pig. Okay, the problem I have with this, and I just keep deferring just to other things because it makes me so mad. The Becky Lynch mark in me is furious. But not only that, the women's wrestling fan in me is furious. Brie Bella is a horrible wrestler. She's a bad entertainer, and let's be honest, Total Divas is the reason that she's where she's at. If there was no Total Divas, she wouldn't be on the roster, and I believe that. Nikki at least improved and got better. Brie stole half of her moveset from her husband, who is getting fucking kicked in his ass right now by idiots upstairs. And it just makes me... Why? So they had this storyline with Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky, and they're just going to throw it away?
Yeah, just out of the blue, just to do this. What? It wasn't logical at all. But that's WWE booking. So they were hoping to capitalize.
I'm not watching that match. It's a fucking joke. Is what it is.
Well, they wanted to capitalize and get some sympathy because of the Nikki Bella surgery and neck injury.
She'll be fine. She had perfect neck surgery. They said it could not have gone better, and she'll be back in the ring. The doctor told her that. You can say shit. She's at bedside. Fucking keep her there. Tell Brie to be her nurse, for God's sake. She's not needed on television. Hell, go suck Daniel's dick. He's not doing anything except sitting in his house.
Yes. Well, the thing about it is that they had her defeat Charlotte so that it would give her a reason to have a championship title match to begin with, because let's face it, she hasn't done shit besides that. And nobody cares, and nobody wants to see this match.
No, nobody. It's going to be a disaster. Who thought of this? And they should be fired immediately. They should be absolutely fired. Do you know how many people like Brie Bella? 8. And they were all in Pittsburgh right next to me when I booed Bella out of the building. And this little girl, that's not very nice. Well, you know what? Your idol is an idiot. Let's put it that way. Your idol is stupid. And your mother should not even close be considered a good mother because she lets you like that piece of shit. So there.
Oh boy, that's a shoot.
Working jabroni marks into a shoot, brother.
All right. Speaking of bad matches, we've got hit or miss the Big Show versus Eric Rowan.
I fast forwarded it.
This match was so goddamn bad.
I actually didn't watch it. Can we have a sidebar? I kind of just found out that Joe Frazier died.
Really?
It was 11 hours ago on the New York Times. Is that real? That was in 2011. Okay, I'm like, wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. All right. False alarm, everybody. He's already dead.
Oh, you meant that? Okay.
Who do you think
Yeah,
I meant?
jumping Joe Frazier. Yeah, he died several years ago.
Joe Frazier, the boxer.
Yeah.
Down goes Frazier. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? He's already dead.
Well, maybe he
Okay.
came back to life. Isn't that what that religion gimmick's all about?
Well, for some. But yeah, I cannot talk about the Big Show match because I fast forwarded it. I did not watch it.
Dude, Eric Rowan did a spinning kick, and I'll tell you, okay, it didn't even touch the Big Show when he sold it like it was a Mike Tyson knockout punch. The whole thing is just so bad. And what's even worse is we're going to get the Big Show versus one of the Wyatts, probably Braun Strowman at Fastlane.
I'm not gonna watch that either. I'm gonna fast forward it immediately.
I'm going to be doing a lot of fast forwarding at Fastlane. Yeah. So we've got Tyler Breeze and Titus O'Neil. You know, I said he really does. Tyler really does need to change his last name because he's no longer a Breeze. This guy is so weak. His momentum is so weak that, you know, his last name should be Strong Fart or something like that. Whatever is weaker than a Breeze, that's what he is.
I thought you liked Tyler Breeze.
You know what Tyler Breeze's problem is he woke up on a Monday morning at 5'7".
You didn't. In NXT, he was outstanding.
Yeah, I know, and they've totally killed him on the main roster. He's dead. He's dead on arrival. And it's like, okay, so they just gave another mid-card jobber to Titus to squash.
Look, everyone, it's Tyler.
No, it's not.
Tyler the jobber.
As you were
saying.
saying.
It's like, you know, and Titus O'Neil is a great guy by all accounts, it seems. I love the homeless charity stuff he's doing. And that's great. But you know what? The nicest guy shouldn't necessarily be a top guy in wrestling. It's not who's the nicest guy, championship. So it's like, you know, okay, it's Black History Month, and he's got a lot of positive media, so let's give him a push and have him just randomly for a couple months squash a bunch of jobbers, and, you know, he'll go back into some sort of mid-card obscurity soon enough, but, you know, it's not like that stuff isn't a reason just to push him and continue to kill someone like Tyler Breeze, who is a talented guy and has just, he's not recovering from what has happened to him since his main roster debut. There's no going back from this.
Isn't it just the worst?
Yeah.
It's just the worst.
Hit or miss Dolph Ziggler beating Kevin Owens clean.
50-50. Fucking 50-50.
This to me was terrible. And they're probably going to have a match at Fastlane. This is the setup.
Well, wait. Yeah. Who won on SmackDown?
Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched SmackDown by the time you're listening, obviously don't listen for 10 seconds, but Kalisto went over clean on Kevin Owens on SmackDown with a Dolph distraction finish. And I have to laugh, all these people who thought Kevin Owens would be in a high-profile Mania match like against The Undertaker. I have been saying for quite a while that they didn't view him as that guy. And it's coming to fruition. It should be very obvious to everybody now. They view him as a good mid to upper mid-card heel hand and nothing more. So I hope everybody's clear on that and knows what to expect going forward.
Well, enough said.
Next, we have our Brains, and this is I ran across this on Twitter by accident on my timeline, and I hadn't even had no clue what this was. And it is literally fan fiction erotica of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns as an intimate couple. And this is some of the weirdest stuff I have ever seen. So unfortunately, people were tweeting images of this stuff on my timeline, and as I was scrolling up, yeah.
All right,
It's-
so I'm gonna do a dramatic reading of Ambrains.
Oh boy.
And by the way, some person didn't say who was talking, so just pretend. Yo, come over. I can't. Why, that chick got you ball and chain? He heard an exasperated sigh over the phone. No, I just want to see your damn ass. Ah, Ambrose pretended to sound hurt, but I want to see you. Roman sighed again. Are you drunk? Dean picked up the whiskey bottle next to him to peer at its contents. He tilted it slightly sideways so that its contents wouldn't spill. Maybe. Kinda. Actually, the truth is that I'm on my way there. I hate dealing with you when you're like this. Ah, Dean pouted. Poor Romy. He placed the bottle back on the table. So, as he tapped his fingers on the armrest, how soon will you be over? This time, Roman groaned and Dean chuckled. This cat and mouse game that they play. Give me half an hour. Will do. So Dean pressed the button to end the phone call without waiting for Roman's response. He knew that it irritated his teammates, so that's why he did it. Roman only lived 10 minutes away from him. Dean knew that the extra 20 minutes was for him to shower and change his clothes. Roman would probably come over, stinking up the place with some expensive cologne. Dean dressed out on the couch and flipped through the channels with the remote. As far as he was concerned, he was freshly showered as well, even though it had been over an hour ago. Dean had just taken another swig of whiskey when he heard the knock on his apartment door. He took the bottle with him as he unlocked the door and swayed noticeably to the side to lean against the wall for Roman's benefit. Fuck! Roman stepped inside and closed the door, looking at the same time. You're drunk already. Nope. Dean suddenly stood up straight and walked to the couch quite normally and plopped down on it. He looked up to Roman and gave him a boyish grin. Roman rolled his eyes and rubbed the back of his neck. Same old shenanigans I see. Can't be that old if you keep falling for them. Dean patted the space next to him on the couch. Roman walked over and obediently sat where Dean had patted. Ambrose was right. Roman was wearing some expensive shit, and its stench was infiltrating his lungs and the rest of his small apartment. He would only admit to himself that he liked whatever it was that Reigns wore. It was clean and fresh, with a hint of spice. He had often thought to ask him the name, but he would never want to relinquish him of his silly little secret that he actually liked the scent. And we move on down to where there are some more interesting actions. He expected Roman to turn heel and leave him there on the couch in his drunken stupor, but instead he leaned over him and Dean's heart started to beat rapidly, as if it wanted to break through his chest. Roman's cologne was surrounding him now, and it was filling his head up with images that were making his cock hard. Suddenly, he was lifted, and he was in Roman's arms, his head resting against the broad shoulder as he was carried towards his bedroom. What are you doing, Ro? Dean placed an arm loosely around Roman's neck, carrying you to bed. You're drunk. Dean shook his head vehemently. Nah, I'm not drunk, maybe a bit tipsy, but I'm not drunk. Roman leaned over to let Dean off the bed, but Ambrose had other ideas. He nimbly swung his legs and locked them around Roman's waist, crossing his arms around Roman's neck. Are you really turning me down? Dean wasn't hiding the hurt he felt this time. Was he really so unappealing? I don't want you like this. Then how do you want me? Dean leaned in and placed a warm kiss on Roman's neck. I could get in any position that you'd like. He heard Roman's breath hitch in his throat as he kissed his neck again. This gave him a little hope. It meant that Reigns wasn't immune to him. Dean, that it isn't what I meant, and you know it. He exhaled sharply as Dean continued to plant kisses down the side of his neck. If this is going to happen between us, I want it when you're sober. Now, the final paragraph. And this is where it gets good, folks. If you have sensitive ears, mute it for 15 seconds. One final lash against his prostate, and Dean was coming. He pulled away from the he pulled away from the addictive mouth and cursed the heavens as his cum coated in both bodies. He abruptly come down from his when his name tumbled from Roman's lips, and he felt something hot and wet coating his inner walls. Fuck, they had done it. They were naked, sweaty, and covered in each other's cum. Reigns' spit manhood slipped out of him. he could feel some of the cum escaping his ass, he took a firm hold of Roman's hand and immediately his fingers tightened around his. This was good. Dean got up from the bed on barely stable legs, still holding Roman's hand. He gave him a gentle tug, and Roman got up as well and followed him, hands clasped, into the shower.
That's not your mother, it's a man, baby!
And Dean is still putting Roman over.
Yeah.
Just like on Raw.
I'm trying to find the best line there is. Okay, I gotta read this one. I don't have a choice. We're gonna do it, baby. When he got Dean's balls again, he used his broad tongue to lick straight up to the base of Dean's shaft.
Who the fuck comes up with this stuff?
He popped the button on the jeans and pulled down the zip. The metallic teeth were the loudest thing in the room as it revealed what Dean really wanted. Oh, Dean kissed the area of Roman's nipple tenderly. Good. And of course, I'm sure Reigns wanted to listen to the Shield theme song during sex. I imagine.
Well, naturally.
Yeah. All right. That's enough. That's enough. And Brains fan fiction. Next time on Voices of the Voiceless podcast. Yeah.
Einhorn is a man! Oh my god! Einhorn is a man!
Oh, brother.
Too much.
Well, we move on from that to former WWE Hall of Famer Sunny and her vivid porn video, Sunny Side Up, which has been released.
We never actually talked about the final segment. It was cool. Lesnar came out, did some stuff. That was really it. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, anyway, on to Sunny. Oh, God. I will never watch it. It makes me want to throw up just thinking about it. She's atrocious. She's just a horrible human being. She's dirty.
Yeah, I have no desire to see this whatsoever. And unfortunately, some wrestling fans have. In fact, one person gave a review at Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer's site, figure4wrestlingonline.com. They said her eyes are glazed over like she's drunk on some sort of downer pills. She also keeps staring at the camera in an uncomfortable way. She keeps talking for some reasons. 5 seconds into being eaten out, she tells the guy she just came in to stop. And when he doesn't, she makes him. She's covering her eyes again like you would if you were drunk or perhaps just embarrassed. She says, pretty matter of fact and not in a sexy way, I have multiples. I know my own body. I know my body and everything's just... The dude is doing all the work here. God bless him. He's like Ric Flair carrying Elegante. More unsexy talk from Tammy. Whatever you want me to do it, babe. Just do it. He tells her to touch herself and excuses himself from the scene. I'll assume he's getting fluffed. She tells him to hurry. Then she says disconcertable things at one point. She mumbles a lot of stuff. Yeah, it sounds like this fan wasn't even going to make it through the video. I have no desire to see this. This is totally gross. And what's even worse is she wants China to do a video with her now. Yeah, China and her massive clit dick. And I was thinking they would have to call that a sunny night in China.
Ooh, that's a good title.
Yeah, I came up with that.
Oh, she's just so ugly.
Yeah.
Sunny is ugly. Yikes. What she used to be, though, man. Bret Hart was enjoying those sunny days, man.
Yeah, a lot of people were. Shawn Michaels, Chris Candido. The list goes on. So I want to talk about some big news here that has come out. The 4 big matches planned for WrestleMania 32 as of Monday, February 1st. And I list the date because, look, the truth is they've made a lot of changes in WrestleMania past recently, the week of or the day of even WrestleMania. So, it could definitely change. But as of Monday, February 1st, it was confirmed these were Vince McMahon's big 4 matches for WrestleMania 32. And this is not a joke, by the way. So the Divas Championship would be Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch.
That's wonderful. I'm for that. Absolutely.
The next match would be Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt.
I'm still for that as long as Bray wins.
He's not going to. Yeah. Bray's going to, it's like, you put him in some high-profile matches like, Cena, The Undertaker, but he doesn't win consistently. So it's like, okay. The next one is, and you're going to love this, The Undertaker versus Braun Strowman. And this hopefully changes.
Yeah. Well, I read
this
a
is
report.
going to be a fucking disaster.
I read a report that wasn't happening anymore.
Well, initially, here's the deal. Vince McMahon is very high on Braun Strowman and wants to make him a top TV character in the company. He's been very involved in producing his segments on TV. Vince actually initially wanted Braun Strowman to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and only under heavy opposition did he agree to the Undertaker match instead. And unfortunately, it's said that if Strowman's match at Mania goes well, he could very well indeed be facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam this year.
Well, wonderful.
And I don't know why Vince is so high on the guy, except he's 6'7", 300-something pounds, because he can't wrestle with a fucking diddly shit.
Yeah.
And there's some who are saying, oh, Vince is producing him so that he looks like he can't wrestle quite as good as he can. He's improved. They're just saving it for the big match at Mania. He still sucks. I'm sorry to tell you.
I have no analysis because you said it. You said it. He's terrible.
And so the final match here, no surprise to anyone at all, unless you've been living under a rock, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, Triple H defending the championship against Roman Reigns.
I gotta play something for you, by the way. I gotta find it first. It is a video of a man putting Roman Reigns' song, but using his entrance lyrics as the words. Hold on one second. I'm going to do this all live because I don't care. Guy sings WWE themes. Roman. Come on. I'm really not going to be able to find it. I should have thought of this earlier, but I didn't know we'd be talking about this in depth. Let's try this.
Why?
Yep, this is it. Oh, no, go ahead with your point first.
Well, I was just going to say on the same topic, they're looking to have some people in Triple H and Roman Reigns' corner. It's believed that the speculation is The Rock and Vince, with Vince being in Triple H's corner, obviously. Or if they could get Ronda Rousey, Rock and Rousey in Reigns' corner, and then Vince and Stephanie in Triple H's corner. There's still a lot they can do there. They wanted Batista. They talked to him at the Rumble. They wanted him. They wanted him to have a one and done, like special referee role at Mania for the Reigns and Triple H match. Of course, he wasn't interested in that. He's got a movie going on, and really, what's the advantage to that? It's just he wants to come back when there's actually something he can do anyway. So he turned it down, and Vince McMahon is hell-bent on getting Shawn Michaels to be involved in WrestleMania 32. He gave him a ton of money to try and come back to the Rumble. Shawn turned it down. But I would say HBK could be a candidate to be a part of that match as a special referee or something else, because Vince wants to throw a lot of money at him. And you know what? He doesn't have to wrestle. He can still get a lot of money by doing something else. So I wouldn't be surprised by that.
I mean, neither.
They're doing the point of all of this, really, at the end of the day, is They're throwing the kitchen sink at getting Roman Reigns over here. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
And
sure.
he is going to get fucking booed at WrestleMania 32, and Triple H is going to be the babyface. And they just don't care, or they don't get it.
Here are two ideas that you might not like, but I think they're good ideas. But first, let me play this for you. It'll only do the first 20 seconds.
Roman Reigns, the guy with the biggest pecs. Roman Reigns, the guy who has lots of sex. Roman Reigns, the guy with the wettest hair. Roman Reigns, the guy who just doesn't care. Roman Reigns, the guy with a lot of class. Roman Reigns, the guy who will kick your ass.
He also does Seth Rollins. I got to play you the beginning.
What color is your hair?
Yeah, it's really good. Those guys are. That's what.
I was just going to say the Rollins music. It's a reminder that the four big matches we're talking about, this kind of stuff is happening because of all of the injuries to the top. I mean, it's like when you look at the guys who were champion immediately following WrestleMania, every single one of them is out injured right now.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, there were rumored reports that Rollins might come back early. I don't believe it though. His type of
I don't
injury
believe
takes
that at all.
8 months to come back.
Yeah, I think that's a total bullshit. I saw that. I don't believe that for a second. It's not happening. But, hopefully they find something else for Braun Strowman. Look, if you've got to put the guy over, put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like keep him out of the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar's way. Keep him out of the title picture. If you're hell-bent on doing something, I would take that as a compromise. But damn, if they go through with this Undertaker match, it is going to be brutal.
It will, and I think there are, Strowman can be good if you put him in the right position. An Andre the Giant victory would be the best way to go, but I don't know if they're going to do that. Anyway, what I am thinking for Reigns, and we can end on this, you can do two things. Let's say they do get Shawn Michaels to come back, right? And it's going to be awesome. And honestly, if they don't change it up or at least make it interesting, it's going to be Philadelphia Royal Rumble all over again. So to avoid that, they can do two things. If they can get Michaels in and have Michaels in H's corner, whoever the fucking Reigns' corner, if they really want to do that, and have Shawn Michaels turn on H with Roman, and H helps, and Hunter or fucking HBK, helps Reigns get the pin of the victory. So Roman's now a heel. All right. That doesn't mean that Triple H is in the authority or baby faces. It just means Roman's a heel now, and you do that. Or the other idea, if you wanted to turn it around and make the authority babyface, because let's be honest, there's been babyface authority figures before. It's not an impossible feat. And plus, it would take away that authority figure that was a heel in the middle of the decisions. I mean, it's just a drawn-out narrative, and it's not interesting anymore. What about a double turn at Mania? You have Roman turn heel with the help of Dean Ambrose. They realign the Shield sort of, and Reigns wins the title. I don't know. Or just fucking have Dean cheat and help Triple H win the belt at Mania, and then Hunter crowns Ambrose the champ on the Raw the night after. I don't know. Just a couple of ideas throwing at the fan here.
Yeah, well, again, the thing with the big four matches and the WrestleMania plans is everything is truly subject to change, which is the good news, because maybe some of these horrendous matches will go away. But the way I would book it, if they're hell-bent on, and by the way, I think Dean Ambrose, I would pick him to win. I think he's a much better candidate. When you saw his reaction, the way when he got to fight Triple H, the fans loved it. They cheered him. When it's Roman Reigns, it's going to be boos. It's going to be loud boos, just like he got this past week. So, the way I would do it right now with the hell-bent way they want to do it is I would turn Roman Reigns heel and I would have him align with Vince McMahon, and Vince would turn on Triple H and Stephanie. And that is the way Roman Reigns would win the championship.
I'd be okay with that. Really, I would. I would like to see that. I don't want them to run into Royal Rumble 2015 again, because that was.
They're going to. This is exactly what they're doing. It's the same formula, and it's like, have you not figured out this is not going to? I mean, they've been trying for a year plus to get this guy over with the kitchen sink, and it's like, if it's not working at this point, maybe you got to tell Roman to sit on the bench. They got to go with someone else for now because it's just not working.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't either. But who else would keep playing a guy that they want to be a star of their sports team, let's say, when he's not producing the results of the contract for being a star player?
It's a hell of a question, man. I have no answer. I don't have an answer because I don't know what to. I'm honestly speechless. I truly am. I don't think they know where they want to take Roman, and the fans aren't going to take force feeding him down their throats. They're just not.
I think at this point, we can all expect that the NXT TakeOver show in Dallas is going to be better than WrestleMania.
Oh, tell me twice, dude. I already know that. Big time. Big time. Are you surprised?
Look, it's supposed to be not just WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all, which they're not allowed to say anymore, one of Vince's cool rules there. But look, it's supposed to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time. 100,000 plus people. And by the way, there's no way in hell it's happening with the card I just described. But how are you going to have all of that situation, and then that is your response? That's the card you come up with, and it just doesn't add up. It's not going to be good. I don't think there's any way in hell they're filling AT&T Stadium with that lineup.
You don't think so?
No way. They will paper the shit out of that number. I mean, I think there's like 60 or 70,000 tickets sold right now. I mean, there's people who are going to go because WrestleMania has become the Super Bowl in the way that it's like the event itself is the sell rather than just the card now. And that's one of their marketing gimmicks. Like, the company is the draw, not just the talent anymore. And that's their little gimmick to make people replaceable on the roster. And that's terrible. But because I think you can do both. You can have the company be the draw and a few guys also be a draw. But that's the way they do it. So yeah, I don't think that lineup is going to give them 100,000 plus. There's no way.
I hope. I hope. I'm just hoping, man. Are we able to do anything else right now except for hope? I just have hope. I hope something changes fast.
You and me both.
Well, it's that time again.
It is that time.
Time to what? What were we talking about?
Time to
give it time.
And no, it's play one of John's videos.
It's the CD version. Well, friends, you can find me at John Fisher IQ on Twitter, Facebook at John Fisher. Find me and talk to me. I love to talk wrestling and good wrestling specifically. Brad, where can we find you on the internet?
And you can also find me at the Brad Shepard. And of course, you can find John on Tinder at Horny 24/7 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I tweet a lot of fan fiction, so just letting everybody know. Until next time, remember, if you have any cares about wrestling and want to change it, just remember, you have no chance in hell of doing it.
No chance in hell.
We'll see you next week.